Good morning. It's me again. Welcome back to A Bird a Day. I'll be reading from Book of North American Birds, the Reader's Digest edition. It's a 1990 publication. We've been reading through the Birds of Prey section. Birds of prey. They are the warlords of the air. The hawks, falcons, owls, eagles, and other birds referred to as raptors. Swift, fearless, and powerful, they are superbly equipped for their lives as predators. Almost too well, for they have also suffered at human hands for the seeming cruelty of their behavior. But such a view mistakes an act for a motive. These fierce hunters, like all wild creatures, are only carrying out the roles given them by nature. This book is a gallery as well as an index, but a gallery of about 400 different species of birds. We are working through the Birds of Prey section, and yesterday's bird of the day was the red-shouldered hawk. Today's bird of the day on A Bird a Day is the broad-winged hawk, the Buteo Platypterus. It's the Latin pronunciation. Let's take a look at the broad-winged hawk. It's a good-looking bird. Good-looking bird. All right. Let's read a little bit about the Buteo Platypterus. 1 minute, the September sky is empty except for a few fair weather clouds. Then it happens. A ribbon of birds materializes. They are so high they look like grains of pepper sprinkled across the sky. The ribbon reaches the bottom of a cloud and frays into filaments, looping and knotting itself into a tangle. In some places, they call this swirling mass of broad wings a kettle. Elsewhere, it's called a boil. By whatever name, the annual exodus of broad-winged hawks is one of the greatest spectacles in nature. Most broad-winged flocks number in the hundreds, but when the mid-September push is on, kettles run into the thousands. Migrating flocks cross the continent, then funneled down the land bridge of Central America to the tropical forests. Come March, the clouds of birds will once again boil up out of the Mexican plains and swirl over the Rio Grande, tracing their path northward. This shy, almost docile raptor is hardly larger than a crow and specializes in cold-blooded prey, which is why it must vacate northern forests so early in the fall. From a favorite hunting perch near a stream or woodland pond, the bird watches and waits. Then, on silent wings, it angles swiftly down on its target, a careless frog, a water snake, or perhaps a crayfish that ambles into the shallows, and the broad wing's waiting clutches. The broad wing's swift, decisive attack gives its prey no warning and little hope for escape. Let's take a look at that sketch. Good looking sketch. The broadwing taking out some reptiles, mostly found, as we can see in the area map, on the eastern portion of the US. Alright, so they're kind of held over to that section. Now, how do you recognize a broadwing? I'm super glad you asked. They are anywhere from 13.5 to 19 inches long. The adult is plain brown on their back with barred rusty below, and their tail has 2 light bands. The immature are brown with pale bars above and whitish below with brown blotches and fine streaks. The habitat is deciduous forest. Their nest is a mass of twigs 15 to 50 feet above the ground in a tree. They lay 2 to 3 eggs at a time that are white and marked with brown and purple. The incubation, or the time it takes for an egg to hatch, is about 28 days, and they're roosted on by both sexes. The young have downy feathers, and they leave the nest at about 6 weeks after hatching. Their food is mainly frogs, toads, reptiles, also small mammals, small birds, and insects. So that is the broad-winged hawk, Buteo platypterus. Let's take another good look at the bird. All right. Broad-winged hawk. Today on A Bird a Day. Tomorrow's bird of the day on A Bird a Day. The Swanson's hawk. I'll flap at you then.